So the Xbox One SAD is out today. It's the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, basically meaning there's no disk drive in here. In fact, the shell has no slot. It seems like they mostly just changed that out. We'll see what else is in there after we open it up, but from what I have been able to gather, it's just a standard Xbox One S, just with a different shell. Like, everything's still there, apparently, for the disk drive, and we'll, like I said, check that out. It does come with 3 different games. Again, it's all digital, so these games are all just codes, I believe, or they're pre-installed. I think they're codes, though, but again, we'll find out about that as well. Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 3. We have the no disk symbol right on the front, 1 terabyte drive, and that's pretty much it. Controller, everything else comes with it as you'd expect, and it's $250, which is confusing, yes, since you can get an Xbox One S online right now fairly easily for very close to $200, and most times it comes with a game, whether that's something like Battlefield or Minecraft. You can usually get one with a disk drive that, of course, plays ultra high-def Blu-rays. So you can kind of start to get an idea as to why this is confusing to most of us. We all think a $200 price tag is the way to go, but let's see what $250 gets you. So the box is pretty straightforward. It's exactly what you'd expect it to be, obviously. It says all digital disc-free gaming. On the top, we actually have a little seal we have to break here. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick and open it up. Now, if these are codes in here, I guess we'll just give them away. I guess we'll just do that. So I don't really have any need for Minecraft, Forza Horizon 3, or Sea of Thieves, mostly because I believe Minecraft and Sea of Thieves are on Game Pass. And then, of course, Horizon 4, Forza, is also on there, so I technically already have most of these games, or a more updated version of one of the games. Here are some instructions on how to set it all up, just in case you don't know how to put in AA batteries or plug the system in. Honestly, for who they're targeting with this, I feel like they would probably already know how to do a lot of that stuff, but hey, just in case. So, system is there. It is well packaged, at least. That's something Microsoft generally does pretty well, is they package these things with quality, so that's good. But let's take this guy out. It's a closed cell foam is what's kind of holding the system all up, and that's pretty much it. So the box is empty at this point. We have paperwork here. Here's Minecraft, some others, so we'll just go ahead and give those codes away in a second. So if you're one of the first people watching because you have subscribed with notifications on, congratulations, you'll probably get at least one of those games. So make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, just in case I open any more systems that have codes in them, because then I guess I'll be flashing them to the camera. So let me put the system to the side for a second. Let's open this guy up. I guess the one good thing is I'll get an extra controller out of this, because the system is all digital, so like all the discs that I buy won't work on this thing. Anyway, so we have several games here, as I said. This is Xbox Live Gold. Game Pass. Oh, okay, so it does come with, what is this? Is this like a, I should have looked at the front. This is Game Pass of some kind. I don't know if it's like a month or something. This could be. So there you go. If you are, again, here tuned in, you can pause, and that's Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass or something. You can go punch it in and see what it is. Otherwise, we have some basic paperwork there, nothing fancy, and then we have all 3 of our games. So let's see, we have Minecraft is first. So there is the code for Minecraft. You can pause and type that in. So there's Minecraft, Forza Horizon 3, and then Sea of Thieves. So there you go. Congratulations to whoever got those. Sea of Thieves has actually become much better now compared to what it was. So that's good. Now let's open up the system. That's what everyone's here for. I can take a look at the controller actually as well while we're on the subject here, because this is what it comes with everything else. Controller should be a Bluetooth controller, which is good because then, of course, you can use it on computer and everything if you would like. The newer ones I know do generally use Bluetooth, are 4K HDMI cable, because it does still do 4K streaming, does HDR and everything, the Slim does, which is different from, of course, the old VCR. We have our power cable that I'm actually going to leave out. because I hear there's an eject button in there still, and I actually want to see if the eject button makes noise, because that will tell us that they are using pretty much the same everything. If it still makes noise when you do that, that's going to be hilarious. So we might as well do that as well. Controller, standard white controller. Looks and feels good. I do always like the feel of a brand new controller in my hand. Cool. Comes with batteries, of course, because for some reason they still use AA's in 2019. But hey, there you go. Oh, look at that. Why is the controller open like that? That's weird. Feels like separated from it. I don't know. That's odd. The little grip in the back is kind of off a bit. I could probably push that back on there. I don't think it's a... Or maybe they just didn't fit up very well. These come off. These pop off. So I'll probably be able to pop that off and pop it back on. But that's weird. Okay. Leave that out. Comes with AA's. Now, onto the system. This is what people were really curious about. As you can see, no disk drive here. We have our sync button, no eject button, of course, one USB in the front. Otherwise, it's all set up exactly the same as you would expect the Xbox One S to be set up. It does say all digital on the back, so that's cool. So I guess we'll go ahead and start opening this guy up. It's very easy to open the... I mean, I guess I say easy. It's kind of easy. To open up the Xbox One S is not super difficult. They have a little warranty seal on the back that... I mean, we had that stuff passed, so this shouldn't break your warranty. Although, you know how these companies are. Any of the three want to find whatever way they can to make it so that you're not eligible for your warranty anymore if something breaks, just because that's how they are. Anyway, this is a security nub that has to be jumped over, and then everything else unclips. So there we go, we jumped over that, and then you could pretty much just go down the line here. I just happen to have a flathead nearby, so I'm just using that. You could use a spudger. Really doesn't matter too much. These are just kind of tough plastic clips to get off. And at that point, this whole bottom will pop off and we can actually start unscrewing it. I do like when companies do little Easter eggs in their stuff, which they, of course, do with the Xbox One, where it says, "Hello from Seattle." You also get a nice model number and everything over here. Xbox One model, what's that, 1681. So they do kind of print things like that. Of course, on the Xbox One X, we had the Master Chief riding a Scorpion, which was cool. So they do a lot of that kind of stuff. X-clamp still there, as we'd expect, with the black screws surrounding it. And then we have several case screws that we can take off to kind of get in here. You don't have to go too far, mostly because I know that this is just an Xbox One S. And I was thinking about doing another video on the Xbox One S down the road at some point, more in depth. I do like that they color code the longer screws now, though. They're all green, so you don't have to take out these motherboard screws if you don't want to. Like, I'm not going to take out the motherboard, so I don't have to worry about these smaller screws that aren't green. They didn't always do that. With the 360, sometimes you would get lucky if you didn't know where they were already, which after taking apart hundreds of them, eventually you know it by heart. But they would actually mark them with like a marker. So you'd have somebody went around and just marked them like with a marker, and it was easy to tell then. But at this point, I've taken out the long screws that hold the top casing on, so I can actually flip this around, and this should fall right off. All right, so the top is off. It's just a different shell. You can pretty much tell right here. This is where the disk drive would be, of course. The metal is different as well on top, where they do not have... Yeah, because they don't have the disk drive here anymore, of course. So it's just like this blank spot. So let's see. The word is that the... Yep. All right, so the eject button it's right there. I could technically press it now. Like, we can turn this guy on, and I can actually press it now if we want. So we have our eject button there. Let's actually take this metal shrouding off of the top here, just while we're this far, and then I'll plug it in. We'll turn it on, and we'll hit the old eject button and everything. Just make sure nothing crazy like that happens where you still get noise. So I plugged it in. I should be able to turn it right on without too much issue here, and it does make noise. So I guess where's the speaker? There's a speaker. Okay, so speaker's right in here, actually, still. It's right there. They've done very minimal work, so it's powered on now. Very minimal work to this guy when it comes to anything at all. This is, to me, one of the biggest market tests I've ever seen when it comes to any of these companies, as they've done literally nothing other than removing the disk drive It is powered on right now. Oh, it's like a, so they're using a Toshiba hard drive, at least internally. It's not a Seagate, so that's nice, I guess. Fan, of course, is spinning, very large fan. Power supplies here. The nice thing about the Xbox One S is they did a good job shrinking the power supply down. They even actually have some space in here, extra space, from the amount that they've been able to save. The Xbox One X is still smaller, but it is much more dense. Like, it's heavier and everything because of the cooling they went with. Their power supply is larger. There's a lot of stuff that the Xbox One X had to do, and they were able to shrink it, but it also weighs more. Now, let's actually, let me turn this back off, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at the board because, again, I also heard that there is supposed to be the ports there for the disk drive still. So with the hard drive out, we do have ports here specifically for the disk drive. So we see how everything matches up here, where it kind of goes underneath, and then this guy plugs in there. And then we also have our ports here still for the disk drive. That is absolutely true. Both are here. We have 4 ports total, 2 SATA, 2 power. We should only have 2 because the hard drive, of course, only needs a power and a SATA. It doesn't need 2 of each. Yes, everything you've heard about this being a quick test for Microsoft, essentially changing out the top shell, most likely just writing part of the firmware so it doesn't look for the disk drive anymore, and then reshelling it. That's pretty much it. The eject button still technically works as it makes noise, so it's saying that there's no disk in there. Obviously there's not. They didn't even bother to take the eject button off.
Now, one of the biggest questions I've had about this system after articles and stuff have come out referencing the idea that a drive could possibly work in this, I can tell you now it wouldn't, and I can actually explain to you very quickly why that is. Now, Xbox One systems have, of course, disk drives in them, Blu-ray drives, and the way that that works is the Blu-ray drive has its own motherboard, essentially, that is tied to the main motherboard of the system. If you don't have that specific drive board, whatever drive you put in won't work. It'll maybe take the disk in because it's receiving power, but then it won't read correctly. This has been Microsoft's MO for a while. If you remember, with the Xbox 360, people were playing burn games because they were able to flash the disk drive board. So unfortunately, most likely, if you did put an Xbox One S drive in here, it just wouldn't read at all. Like, it just wouldn't work. While I don't have one to test with, I can tell you from experience that's most likely what would happen.
So it's a weird situation for Microsoft because I don't see any actual value in this thing. I really don't. I don't know why anyone would actually buy this over a regular Xbox One S. Mostly because it's pretty much the same exact system with them taking a part out. Actually, one of the most valuable parts, believe it or not, of the Xbox One S, they have now taken out and now selling you. The Xbox One S has a great advantage over even the regular PS4 when it comes to multimedia, because of course you can watch ultra high def Blu-rays, but you can't do that here. Hard drive, same size. It's a Toshiba 1 terabyte drive, and everything else is the same. So I don't think it's worth buying this. Just in case you're out there thinking about it, just go on Amazon. They're like $210 or something, $220, and you'll get a game, and it'll have everything still with it. It's the same thing, just with a disk drive. That's literally it. So let me know what you guys think about the Xbox One SAD, the S All Digital Edition. I, again, wouldn't pick it up, but let me know what you guys think down below. Everything's still there. It's just different top shell. It's pretty much it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if not, and I'll see you next time.